Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100, where today we are in the parking deck. And what is interesting about today is that we are obviously going solo, right? And we are also going to go with some light damage, but we are going to capitalize as much as we can on the charge attacks and parries of the Hound's Veil to recover health, as well as keeping up our stamina as high as possible with deft parry. And that means, though, that the skill cap on this build is only as good as I can possibly be, which you guys know my track record. But the nice thing is that this is a build that you can set up and develop into an actual an actual fighting chance here in the parking deck, especially with the butterfly. So we do have some pretty decent range here with Flame Spike at a 2x multiplier to our light value, so about 2800 plus or minus all of the resistances of the enemies. And then we have a fairly medium to short range, preferably short range gift here in Flame Barrage at a 2.7 multiplier times our light value, so about about 3,000 or so, 3,500, somewhere around there, damage that we're going to be able to get out of that, plus or minus all of the resistances, which isn't too bad, but that's a pretty short cooldown in 2 seconds and 5 seconds here, so that's pretty nice. Every 5 seconds we can do about four gifts or so, and we also have pretty good Ichor recovery in our Veil here at 9.27 per backstab and parry. And then we will get a certain amount of that for parrying the butterfly, which will be essential if we want to keep our initiative going against her. So we will have charge drains active at all times, and we will have dodge damage as well, and hopefully the potential to keep ourselves alive if we do take fatal damage. So all things considered, this is a pretty decent setup here as we take our chances into the parking deck here, and it will be for sure a struggle here against these fellas, and so we can go for that parry, fill up our Ichor and our stamina meter here, so that is great. Oops. And we'll go for a backstab into a charge drain, so we can make sure that we are getting the most health back possible that we can. And you can see that we have a great potential for getting Ichor back, as well as our health and everything. So we should be okay here to go for anybody and everyone that we are going to go up against, just because of the fact that we should be able to one-on-one these guys super easily along the way here, and we shouldn't have too many Ichor problems. The real issue will come with actually trying to get damage out on these guys with our Veil. If we are not prepped and ready for it, we will have a very, very hard time. Okay, there's a countermeasure coming in, helpful there for sure, to make sure that we are not caught off guard. But as you can see, we are, whoops, and I had the parry going. I just was not fast enough apparently, but that's okay. Okay, and this fella is just going to hyper armor through everything that we do here, so we are going to have to get a few more parries, whoops, and a few more charge attacks and such. So that is where you can absolutely see that the skill ceiling of this entire setup here is going to be, only as good as what I am capable of doing. And for this fella, we can, you know, draw him over here kind of as he decides to come over, just because of the fact that we are able to, you know, kind of stay at a distance here and use all of our Ichor kind of at will here. And that would have been a nice time for a parry, but because the dodge frames there were agreeable, we might as well go for some dodging. Okay, okay. And there's Feral Tenacity helping us out because of our stupidity here. But that's kind of how... Oh, okay. And I didn't have the timing there correct on the launch attack either. So you can see how this does have its shortcomings for sure. Just because of the fact that these guys do on the upwards of like 2,000 damage on a attack. And it kind of is, you know, pretty tough to get all of the timings perfectly right all of the time for every single enemy that you come across. So that is, whoops. And you can hear the parry coming out and being aggressive on these guys. However, it just is not fast enough for what these guys are actually doing, because you know, there is the startup frames that you have to worry about. It is not instant by any means. Oops. Okay, and not too horrible, but you can see that you know, that is the excitement of this entire build set, is the fact that it is all built around your ability to play, you know, at the exceptional top tier end of the game, to make sure that you are you know, completely capable and plausible at this point to actually engage with the systems and mechanics of the game, to make sure that you are completely running everything at top skill level by mastering all parry timings as well as enemy placements and such. And there you saw that we had a dodge buffered in, so kind of interesting there on how that all generates, you know, timings and everything. Okay, and let's go for some drains here. Okay. Good. And now time crunch is over, so we will have to go for something else here. And we'll go for a little bit of the heavy attacks here along the way to make sure that we are able to stagger these guys. However, it's not a guarantee that those pillars hit the guys. And that guy is a pretty well telegraphed tell there on his attack. So, oh geez, okay. And you can see that it just is not, you know, super agreeable at all the times to go for these guys, just because of the fact that you gotta have. Oh, there was a. Oh. Okay, and you can see that even if you press the button at seemingly the right time, you can still mess up severely and pay for it very, very, very hard, just because of the fact of how hard these guys hit and the chaos that ensues when you are developing, you know, any of your attacks setups on these guys, because of how they dodge around all the time, and you can't ever tell if you're actually getting the timing just perfect right. It can be very, very finicky and very, very touchy for how you need to go about, you know, engaging with these guys. Okay. Okay. Good. At least we got a parry. That is some of the difficulty here, is just figuring out what is that parry timing, because it is... Oh. Okay. And that stagger there is very, very nice. Okay. We'll let those balls engage with him there. Okay, and we are getting back a little bit of our health here along the way, but not anything super amazing. Now these enemies are fairly easy to parry along the way, so that's nice. And we can use the heavy attack of our weapon to actually do some pretty good staggers. If we can actually get her to agree here. And you'll see that she will stagger more often. Whoops. Okay. She will stagger more often than normal for most enemies. Just because of the sheer size that she's getting hit by the fire plumes coming out of the Blazing Claw. So it's a pretty good setup here to have the Blazing Claw paired in with what we are developing here, and it sure helps to make sure that we are built out at exactly, you know, our 105 weight. And Darkseeker is kind of one of those undersung kind of setups that surely does have, you know, a great way of developing into some very good setups here. However, oh, okay. So there's 500 HP gone, which is absolutely crazy. That is how fast your HP can disappear in max difficulty here. Okay, let's go for a charge here. Okay, and we'll continue going for charges here until the dogs get here. Okay, now the dogs are a little bit more pressure centric, so we do have to take care of them with gifts pretty much as fast as possible in order to make sure that they don't get any kind of extra attacks out. Otherwise, we are going to have a really bad time. Okay, and we don't need to kill every enemy along the way here, but it sure does make traversal here very, very much easier. Okay, somehow the timing was not correct there. Unfortunate. Oops. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Ninja Man couldn't actually get any of our positioning correct against his attacks. And you can see that playing solo is very, very much more boring than having a partner, because there is a lot of start-stop built in, and you don't get to actually continue engaging with the game. You're constantly just starting over and doing the same thing over and over and over with no different sorts of outcomes. And it's not about challenge, it's about actually engaging with the game's mechanics, and it has nothing to do with the get good mechanic either, because you can simply just run past everybody. So what's the point in saying get good against an enemy that you can simply just run past? Like, there's no point to actually show that anything is you know, actually getting good when all we're doing here is this. Okay, and we got stunned into oblivion, and So it's like, okay, well, sure, you need to get good against the dogs, or you need to get good against any of the enemies. However, the rebuttal to that, right, is the fact that you can just simply run past everything, and then it's like, well, you're not engaging with the game's mechanics, and that's exactly right. You're just skipping the game altogether. So in order to stay engaged in the game, if you stay engaged in the game with friends that pick you up with AI partners and such, it makes for such a much more better, agreeable gaming experience, because you can actually stay involved and engaged along the way, and it's not just a constant, you know, start over, start over, start over. And you can abuse the AI just like this, where you can literally make them do whatever you want along the way. And so there really is no point to playing solo if you're trying to engage with the game's mechanics at you know, the most possible way that you can go about engaging with it. And see, these guys will get up, they'll follow us, but who cares? Because again, we can just simply run past everything, and it doesn't do anything for us to actually engage with these groups here. Okay, we're dead. See? And so there's the completely pointless version of why you don't want to play with you know, with an AI partner. There's really no reason not to. It doesn't do anything except prolong the game and make it a much more tedious, boring experience. And playing with an AI partner is the premier way to go about engaging with all of these systems. And so this is why playing by yourself is pretty boring, because you just literally you know, skip everything. And oh, there's Ninja Dude. Okay, everybody is super aggressive here, so that's nice. We're just gonna continue running on our way. We weren't able to lose them there. That was unfortunate. Okay, that is quite a few lost that we can take care of with Thunderbolt Impact, and that is one of the developments that you should be going for when you are playing solo, is going for something like this. And we need a Mind of A, so we can just go for like a Dex and Mind, and that will take care of pretty much all of our problems here, because we will be able to significantly destroy everything. And in order to take care of our iCore problem, we can go for the Devour version. So this is why I typically don't play solo, because it does have a very lackluster feel to it here in Vayne. It is not developed to be a single player experience. However, you are, you know, that is possible and capable, and that is something that we can go for sure. But most of the time it's just a lot of backstabbing and a lot of destroying the enemy, like, you know, with no real regard for what are the mechanics of the game. And so if you are playing with not an AI partner, it just turns into, what are my AoE abilities and what can I do to destroy the enemy the fastest. And so you just end up doing things like this, where you're just running around destroying everything in one attack or so, and it doesn't matter which enemy you come up against. And okay, this guy is playing hard to get here. Okay, I guess we just have to launch this guy around to make sure that he is destroyed appropriately. And so here, you know, these guys will just take them out very, very quickly, simply and fast, and without with extreme prejudice here, just because of the fact that you know, we are under kind of this idea that, you know, we need to be developed into a one-woman fighting machine here. And the idea that, you know, you need to play solo to get better at the game, that's not actually true. You just turn into a giant AoE mechanic and a backstab machine, and you pretty much eliminate everything immediately, and it really doesn't have any, like, there's not a lot of variety here that we are going for. We're just going for, you know, a lot of over-the-top crazy damage that really doesn't have a lot of reason. It's just we're doing it because this is how we have, you know, a lot of ability stacked into our character. And so the reality is that all you're doing is backstabbing and running around in circles, and there's no real reason to actually use your weapon, which is why I am a firm believer in the fact that weapons are actually a hindrance to your ability here in Vayne, because most of the time you don't need a weapon, and you just need gifts and a good veil, and then everything else will fall into place. So you can see that we're not really using our weapon at all because of the fact that we don't need it, and we'll just go for a couple of drain attacks on this fella, and we'll pick up our haze here, whatever's left of it, and we'll head on our way. So this is why I kind of don't enjoy playing solo, just because of the fact that it just turns into a large AoE discussion of, you know, when and where should you be doing what you're doing. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay. And then there's monkeys, which you have to go for the giant AoE for sure, because they are absolutely annoying. Oh, okay, there we go. Backstab time. And we're definitely going to go for our charge drains here and get back as much health as we can here. Oh, wow, he got the full 360 there. Unfortunate. Okay, and see, for just a small mistake like that, what's the whole point of going back and redoing all of this? There is none. And so here's some fun that we can do, is by getting all of these enemies up and aggressive and having them come after us, and then we can just blast everybody with one Thunderbolt impact, and it makes for a enjoyable way to destroy a whole huge group of enemies all at one time. Okay, except there's dogs. Okay, good. And AoEs in this game are exceptionally powerful and exceptionally fun. They sure do enjoy a big amount of ability all built into one specific area. Okay, we got a couple of fellas here after us. Got two guys. That's fine. Okay, we'll kill a couple of fellas there. That's fine. And then we'll just run around this way. We'll grab the missile, and then we'll be on our way. And again, this is why single player solo is not that fun, because you're just continually running from the engagements. You're not actually engaging in the mechanics of the game, because it's like, oh, I'll just reset the area and then do like one-on-one fights and stuff, which the whole point of the game is to engage with the mechanics. And when you have co-op stuff happening, that's where a lot of the mechanics of the game actually come to life. All of the solo stuff is fairly lackluster and very not what Vayne was meant to be and meant to do. And as you see here, you know, we're just doing, you know, more of the same. Oh, okay. Okay. Not a problem. Okay, and now for this part, obviously all you want to do is just run across the bridge and then up the ladder. That is, you know, basically how you handle single player in the game, is you just run past everything. And if you can't handle that, then you just get the giant AoE stuff, and then you destroy all the enemies in one attack, and then you're done. Ouch. Okay. She has a fantastic ability to reach up the ladder, which is pretty crazy. Okay, but this entire build setup here, it really doesn't matter whether or not you can actually survive here in single player. What it is meant to be is we are developing for the boss encounter here coming up from the butterfly. Now this is where, you know, obviously having a partner will be beneficial. But at max difficulty here, everything hits for like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of HP, and so there's really nothing you can do to actually mitigate most of the damage. You saw last video that we were able to withstand like 1 or 2 hits from Oliver. However, that is very, very unique and kind of a niche kind of a play, because you can't just do that anywhere and everywhere all the time. Most of the time you have to have some kind of offensive ability here along the way. Okay, and that is good that we have the ability here to get some high core and get some damage out at the same time. And Deft Parry here is doing some good work overall. Nope. Ouch. Okay. That is as you see there, we got 2,000 some damage that she took on us. So that is very, very unfortunate. Oh. She's going for an attack here. Not a problem. Okay. And we'll just continue into this regime here. Okay, let's go for a couple of charge attacks and get some health here. Okay. Now, if you'll notice, she has not gone down into stagger yet. And there we go. Ouch. Okay, so we will have to heal up here a bit. And let's go ahead and get a little bit of items going here. Okay. Ouch. And that is a pretty devastating attack there that she has. That is always overwhelmingly dangerous. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and heal. That attack is very dangerous as well. Okay, let's heal. Okay. Ouch. Man, the camera is going a little bit crazy here. Okay. Sure, let's go for this. Oh, let's back up. So this is where a partner simply just helps to speed things up from the inevitable here. Instead of going for some of these more obscure kind of setups here. Okay. And she's not doing, there we go. I was going to say she's not doing the attacks where we can get parries off of them. So we'll just have to maintain ourselves here. There we go. Okay. Good. Okay, we'll back up here a little bit. Okay, there we go. Not too horrible, not too great, but that's where playing solo, like, you can kind of, you know, force the enemy into certain things because it's always aggroed on you. However, the problem is that it just takes way longer than anything normally should be taking. When you can absolutely burn these things down in a very exceptional sort of way with an AI partner. And the adventuring part doesn't actually have a lot of fun in it anymore. You're simply just running to the boss, and that is pretty boring in my opinion. And that's why I really enjoy playing with an AI partner, and that's why I think Vayne should be played with an AI partner, just because of the mechanics of how the gift system is set up and how the partners kind of complement each other, and the split aggro of the many enemies that are around all the time. It sure does help because if you don't have like massive crazy AoEs like Thunderbolt Impact or Cloak of Winter, if you don't have these, or Volatile Storm or Homing Hellfire or something like this, then you can get ganged up on, and there's no possible way that you can attack the enemy. And it has nothing to do with skill level, it has everything to do with the timing attacks of when the enemies are attacking you. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this and you learned a little bit about some of the solo bits here that you can do, and how you can take a blood code that is kind of sub-tier and you can actually turn it into something that's pretty good. But again, this is more of a skill cap setup here, and it has nothing to do with the actual enemies or the area or whatever. But because it is very single target focused in everything we do here, we have no AoE. As soon as we get more than one enemy, things fall apart pretty quickly. So you see that it works pretty well for bossing because there is only one enemy and only one focus. But as soon as you have enemies coming at you from all directions, like in the invasion, plus a bunch of enemies around you, it has literally no ability to keep up with the amount of damage that's required. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow in the Dried Up Trenches. See ya. Take care.